Throughout the courses that we will be covering as part of this specialty, we will be looking at many Java classes. Those classes are organized into packages. Think of a package the way you would look at a directory. You can have many files in a directory, just as you can have many classes in a package. It's just that directories are platform specific, and Java wanted some form of platform neutral understanding. That is the role of a Java package. In a file system, we might use slashes. Windows uses backslashes or can actually accept forward slashes. Other systems want forward slashes to separate the parts of a directory path. In Java, we use the dot. So com.learnquest.calculator.util. So we would be talking about a COM directory with a child directory of LearnQuest, and then a further child directory of Calculator, and then a final child directory of util. Real-world Java programs may use dozens or, as they say, hundreds of individual classes, each class packaged into a file. Packages help us group these classes in meaningful manners and help us also to avoid name collisions. After all, here you see a calculator. How many different companies might have created something calling it calculator? That is why the standard is to use your domain name reversed. If you are learnquest.com, you start with com.learnquest. If you are Coursera, it would be com.coursera. If you are some other company, or for example, the Apache Software Foundation, org.apache. Java was developed by Sun. Sun was one of the major Unix vendors with Solaris. Many programmers were familiar with C. At the time Java is being developed in the early 90s, much of the industry is developing in C and C++. So Java intentionally borrowed the syntax that developers were familiar with and the data types that developers were familiar with. Integers, floating point numbers, double precision floating point numbers, characters and bytes, and other. Now, these are known as primitives. Ints, floats, doubles are primitives. Java also provides object representations called integer, float with a capital, double with a capital. So for each primitive, we will see that there's also a wrapper class. In terms of programming statements and structure, it is very much the similar as C, with some things borrowed as well from C++, such as exception handling. Many of the statements, many of the keywords and operators are taken straight from C. Java comes with a rich set of libraries. String manipulations, calendars, text handling, XML parsing, and many other things. Some are part of the standard distribution, which is large, and then there is a even larger ecosystem for Java with many offerings. There are standards for our libraries provided by the Java Community Process. This is a gathering place of originally Sun as the developer of Java, now Oracle, and many other parties, such as IBM, such as the Apache Software Foundation, such as Red Hat, and other interested parties, whether corporations or even individuals, who wanted to contribute to a standard. So the Java specification continues to evolve through the Java community process. And this does include standards. For each standard coming out of the Java community process, there will be a TCK, a kit for helping to verify compliance with the standard. There is extensive documentation for Java using something known as JavaDoc, which is a standard for how we produce documentation for Java classes. As we go through the courses, we will often be looking at the JavaDoc for various standard classes. We will look at the JavaDoc for string and other classes.